very beginning or what?
Good place to start.
Yeah. The urge to find pleasure underpins everything we do. Wow, that one sentence is so much loaded. The urge to find pleasure underpins everything we do. Isn't it like whatever we are doing, we're just trying to find pleasure? Capitalizing on this very human pursuit, we have been systematically programmed by society to pursue satisfaction through romance, sports, the arts, education, our professions, and almost every other activity. Okay, let me read again. Capitalizing on this very human spirit, means finding pleasure, we have been systematically programmed by society to pursue satisfaction through romance, sports, the arts, education, our professions, and almost every other activity. Yet, we are often left with feeling of frustration and emptiness. Even when we do find enjoyment, the sensation quickly fades, and we all too quickly return to the ordinariness of our lives, leaving us looking for the next new thing in which to invest our hopes. The Bhagavad Gita challenges us to seek a quality of happiness beyond our current limitation. The Gita's fundamental teaching is that we are a spiritual being inhabiting material bodies. So self-satisfaction requires knowing who that self is, and that requires looking beyond the temporary matters that dominate our attraction to what actually concerns us. That's the inside story. If we are serious about finding lasting happiness, we have to start with knowing who we are. So, first two paragraphs is just trying to set the scene, the inside story. The title of the topic is like, what is the inside story? And it's so wonderfully told that happiness, how everything we do, we're trying to find happiness, and for that happiness we're trying to find in various ways, either sports, games, profession, or any other activities. But we definitely, that happiness that we derive from these things is just very short lived. It's not long lasting. Like today afternoon, I was in one Holi festival. Holi is one of the major festival in India, festival of colors. So where people throw colors on each other. So I happened to be there. I was volunteering for our temple to show some books, and I was just seeing people, and it was all surcharged with the mode of passion. Lot of DJs going on and music. People are like just in the moment. They're just trying to enjoy, taking pictures, taking all. But what after that? Like once that is gone, again that back to the normal. Again they will try to look for something else, and that's what this the first paragraph was saying, that it doesn't last long. Like we have so many pleasures. It should be something that should be everlasting, and that's what we will find, that why we are keep seeking, because we are eternal being. We are not temporary. We are eternal living beings. So we look for eternal pleasure. We are not looking for something temporary. We are looking for something that is eternal. Like for some example, right? When we stay for some places, it's become so much hard sometimes to go to leave that apartment and move to the different apartment. Maybe you can say it's laziness, maybe it's something, but actually it has some more deeper meanings. It is more deeper meanings, that because as a soul we want permanency. We are not looking for temporary things, or even relationships or anything in this world. We look for more long-lasting relationship, or anything that is not just temporary or something. Or does any? Maybe not. I don't think so. Right? Because that's what is our nature is, that we are looking for eternal things, and somehow nothing in this world can satisfy, unfortunately. Because let me just preface it, if they are based on material relationships, material, the happiness that derived by the material senses, because the insider story says that we are a spiritual being inhabiting this body. We are not this body or the senses that we are. We are a spiritual soul which is just inhabiting this body. So when we understand that is just like inhabiting, and It's not our permanency. It's not my permanent thing. So definitely, whatever happiness we are getting is just temporary, and then will keep lasting. Anyway, I think I'll let you. Anyone has any questions or anything they like to add in this point of time?
Well, each of us is a soul having a material experience and this meat suit, as it's called. And we do naturally try to find pleasure and avoid displeasure. But following a path that allows us to open our heart and see beauty in all things and do our best when adversity comes is the object, is my goal. So, and I get pleasure here. I get overwhelmed by the mantras and just the place itself. But then I'll take a walk when I'm done. It'll be in the mundane world and everyday reality. But I still have my heart is open. My heart chakra and my heart itself are open. So I'm able to go through the adversities of life a little more easily, even when I haven't had any real trauma, any real bad things happen, but they do. So.
Yeah, at least it never happened. So it's just very nice, and that's why you have certain things that you can go back, like your inside heart. You are saying that you can find something that makes you to feel home in your heart. Right? Okay, this is all extra. Everything I'm doing, that's fine, but there is something beyond these things exist, and that's what is trying. This thing is saying that we are soul, and it will know more as we go progress. That what thing that soul likes, or what is the thing that makes soul happiness. Like the thing that we did in the beginning, you might just wonder what is this chanting. It's just like a normal chanting. It's like saying like just words, some words formation, and what is the difference in this? So maybe my teacher, Srila Prabhupada, who's the actual author of this book, he says that you can take this chanting that we did, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then you can do experiment. Just take any material name like Coca-Cola, and keep saying that Coca-Cola, 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 Coca-Cola. How much time you can say? Maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But after that you will feel that satiated. It will look boredom. But this the vibration that we chanted, it has something very special that you can keep singing for the whole day even, and you may not satiated. Maybe in the beginning, maybe it may take some time, but as we advance, and that's what is the advancement means. Otherwise, if everything is available now, then why someone will put effort? So it needs some practice, and by practice you can find that this sound is so special. By just chanting this, you can feel that happiness inside, and you can keep chanting this for whole day even. So okay, so let's move on. Maybe Robert, you would like to read?
Sure. So you read just that one
paragraph? First.
Bhagavad Gita challenges us to
sorry, the first paragraph I wrote, so who am I? The third one.
Oh, okay, you read that? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Who am I?
Mm-hmm.
The first lesson of the Vedic wisdom is that we are not bodies, but rather spirit souls. Minute particles of consciousness dwelling within a body and animating it. Just as a car is a machine that allows a driver to travel from point A to point B, the body is a machine that allows the spirit soul to act and to experience sensations and thoughts within the Lord's material nature.
Yeah, it's such a straightforward answer. If someone asks, who am I? Says Vedic wisdom, they were not bodies, but rather spirit souls. And this body is just like a car, making us from... You can just click that. It's just making us from point A to point B, but we generally don't say that we are car. We are more than just car. We just use car for moving from one. Hopefully, we should not identify. Now people may start identifying with the car also. That this car is what identify who am I. But if you see, right, generally we don't identify with car. It's just like a means from A to point B. But what happened in the material society, that everything we start identifying. Let's start with maybe shoes. Like which brand of shoes I wear, that defines me. Or which brand of t-shirts I wear, which brand of this, that is defining me. Which kind of car I drive, that defines me. Which kind of phone I keep. But actually, if you are saying this, these are all things. We should just use these things to use. And that's what one of the great teacher of bhakti, they say that the biggest problem of this current world is that we we should use. He says that we use the
We should use the things, but we are being used by the things.
yes, correct. Actually, he says that we use people and we love things, but actually it should be opposite. We should love the people and use the things. We're doing opposite. Like we use the people for our purpose and we love the things around us. Like we love all the things that is around. Hi, Hare Krishna. But it should be opposite. We should use the things, as I was telling, that this sort of thing, but you should love the people, because that's what is the real thing. Is Hare Krishna. Nice to have you. Welcome. Please sit. So does that make sense? Okay. Welcome back, Rama.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh, nice to see you.
Yeah.
Have your book.
Okay.
Okay. So, yes, Lasya, now your turn. Page 2.
Why is this the first lesson? We're all hankering for complete self-satisfaction, Atma's
Hare Krishna.
Prasiddha, but first we must know what the real self is.
Yes, sit.
The word Atma or self refers to the body, the mind, and the soul. Actually, we are the spirit soul covered by two kinds of garments. Just as a man is covered by his coat and a shirt, so I, the soul, am covered by a gross body consisting of the physical senses and a subtle body consisting of the mind, intelligence, and a false sign. A person covered by false ego, identifies with the body. When asked who he is, he will answer, I am an American or I am an Indian, etc. But these are bodily designations. They are not his real identity. The Vedic literature teaches that we begin to understand our real identity when we think, I am a spirit soul. Therefore, the Vedanta Sutra says, now one should inquire about spirit. The human form of life is meant for advancing the knowledge of spirit, and this knowledge is the beginning of real happiness.
Thank you. So here he is trying to dig little bit more, like, okay, who are actually we? Are we American, Indian, or? But he's saying that how, like a coat and shirt, like there is one very wonderful verse in Bhagavad Gita, Vasansi Jirnani Yatha Vihaya Navani Grenati Naroparani Tatha Sarirani Vihaya Jirnani Navani Grenati Naropa. So he says that like how we wear something today and we'll wear tomorrow something, but we don't identify that this shirt is I am, or this you just change the shirt, right? Today you might be wearing something or whatever your clothes, and then you wear something else next day, but you don't just tell that, oh, I am this cloth or I am that cloth. Similarly, the soul is just inhibiting this body. The body is just covering, and then after this life it will inhibit some other body. So it should not identify that, okay, this, but the false ego, that it was saying that we have a gross body, as we can see in front of us, that is made of what element? That element of 5 elements, Panchamahabhut. What is that Panchamahabhut?
Water,
Earth,
Carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, potassium, and nitrogen.
Yeah, correct. But they are mostly like earthly elements, you can say. Earthly elements. But then it goes a little more earth, water. If you see water, our body is made of a lot of water, right? 73% we say is the water is there. Earth, water, fire, air, and ether.
Oh yes.
So this is like a more going. So that is like a gross body, just the gross. If you just take the constituent of our body, this is what you will. And then one of the scientists, he just measure like, okay, if we just sell this in eBay or anywhere, it might not even cost $1. Like if you just take the constituent, the elements, the cost itself is not be maybe $1 worth of our, or $2 maybe, or whatever. That's the cost of the every, if just the element wise if we take. But I'm sure it's, suppose there is there's a fire happening in some big building, and suppose there's $1 million in some place, in some shelf, and there's one person, which the fire brigade will save first?
Person.
Person, right? why the person they will save first?
That's a living being.
That's a living being, and that's what is this saying that living being is so special. This living being, the living force that is there is so special. It's not just that's a wrong understanding that is just the external body that defines the living being. Living being is defined by the inside, the soul that is there inside the body. That is the most beautiful thing that we have inside. But how often we take time to think about that? How often we think that, okay, there is a life and life situations. Most of the time, Hare Krishna. Most of the time we are just absorbed in life or life situation.
Situations.
Robert?
Which one?
Life or life situation? Which one we are absorbed most of the time in our life?
In situation, but
Right, Rama?
Yes.
Correct? We are just mostly, if you see, that we are just absorbed in the life situation. Hare Krishna, Amrish, nice to see you. So we are mostly absorbed in life situation. So yeah, please continue. So I was asking Amrish, like we are life and life situation, which we are absorbed most in our life. Life situation, right? And that's what so ironically to understand that we are actually beyond this life situations. We are actually a soul, a life that is beyond this life situations. Life situation is just it's just we are put into that, but we are a life as a soul. We are something much more beyond. And when we have this understanding, you will see that you act, you think, you work in different ways. It's not that you don't act in a way that not yet like you just leave everything, renounce everything, and you do nothing. No, but you see the things in different ways. You just understand that you're doing as a like a art. When you go to some drama, right? There's so many artists. They're playing the play in the role in a drama or and they perfectly perform. Right? There's someone is like killing each other. Someone is doing like this that. But at the end, they all become together. Like at the end, then when the end happens, then everyone will come in the stage saying that, oh, we're all together, right? So that's what we have to understand. We all have to do our part in this, and that's the whole big subject, big question mark. Then the next question should come. Okay, then why I came in this world, right? If I had to just be in this life situation, isn't it better might be animal life sometime? They don't have to even go to the studies in SJSU University. You guys have to do so much effort to come to SJSU University. You have to study for bachelor's, you have to apply for visa, F1, whatnot in the world. And once you came here, now to go back is another whole big mess. Because of whatever immigration laws and everything coming here. So then sometimes animal body might be much better, right? They don't have even work hard so much, and they're also absorbed in life situations only, right? In a way, and that's what the scriptures or the wisdom literatures, the Bhagavad Gita is one of them, that says that ahara nidra bhaya maithunam cha samanya etat pasubhi narana dharmo hi tesham adhiko visesho dharmena hina pasubhi samana. So it says that there are 4 activities. Ahar means food. Ahar, food. We eat, animals eat, right? Is there no difference? It's just eating is same, right? Ahar, nidra, sleeping. We all sleep, so blessings. The animal sleeps. Ahar, nidra, bhaya, fear. So much fear. Do we have fear? Yes, we have fear somewhere or other. Like nowadays, like especially the Middle East, what is happening? No one knows what is going to happen. Yeah, in the sense like whether it will start Third World War, whatever is, who knows what's going to happen in the next phase, right? We may say that we are so-called safe in this country, right? This is a country of the freedom, country of the brave, or whatever they say. But when the 7/11 happens, where this all thing went, it just like take fraction of second, and the greatest safest country, it can have anything in this and okay, forget about that other, even like any natural disaster happen, right? And we know that we are the sitting in the most prone area for the earthquake. The California is one of the belt, right? Isn't Robert?
Yeah.
And we think that it's such a big building. It just takes how much? Maybe 1 minute, not a minute, and everything can change. So we have to understand there is something bigger power that connects, that is like controlling all these things. What we are in this we are in this world, and that should make us to think, okay, what is my bigger purpose in life? Why I came here? And that's what that will make us when so when we have that, then we understand, there's something life, and there is something beyond this life situation is life. And let me try to understand life. And when we try to understand life, then we can go better through our life situation. So that's like this symbiosis relationship is there. When we have understand about life, then we can go more better life situation, but not other way. If you think that we can just perfect our life situation, can anyone say that they are perfect in their life situation? No, even if you go to the biggest billionaire, the richest person, and you ask him, do you think that you're perfected? No, he's always thinking, what is the next thing, whatever the next thing, what to make next IPO. We already conquered Earth, let's go to the Mars, let's go to the let's go to this place, let's go to that place. But Shastra says, man, don't worry. Even first of all, even if you go, it will take like years and years. By the time you come back, you might not be even alive. It's not some near. And even why to explore the same thing, even though people say there's no life, even this life, the same thing will be happening there also in that other planet. It's not going to change anything. It's the same thing happening. Whatever is happening here is happening everywhere else. What is something special you'll find in other planet? You'll spend billions and billions of dollars and go there, and what you will do? Just dig something and send the stone from that we found some stone, we found something. What is the actual thing? It's just something. That's why when you start thinking, wow, I think maybe the money can be used in much better purposes in this world. And but anyway, let's get back to our topic. So where were we? Yeah, so ahar, nidra, bhay, maithun, the sex pleasure. That's another thing. That same thing within the animal and the human being. So it says like that, don't try to just have yourself tied to these 4 things, which is even very easily available in the animal form. Try to find dharma. So dharma is a very, very broad term. Like sometimes people say religion. Religion is like a fraction. It's not like religion is like, it doesn't define the word dharma. The religions is just a faith. You might have faith today in something, your faith may change tomorrow in something. Doesn't people change their faith? Right? We might have faith in something. I am like, many of us, Robert, born in India, right? We might be shouting, oh, India is great, India is great. Many of you will become after 10 years American citizen, I'm sure. You'll all become US citizen, right? Then you'll say, oh, US is great. So or something. So it's all faith. This faith is like can change. The country, nation, in some religion like Hindu, Muslim, all these are faith. It's not known, but dharma is in a simplest word. If we try to define the dharma, the simplest word is defined as duty. What is the duty as a human being? What is my duty? That's simplest I'm telling. It's not the everything I'm saying dharma. Or if you go a little bit more, if you click, it says like what is our nature. Dharma defines the nature. Like let me ask you, what is the nature of a salt? So salty, right? What is the nature of a sweet? Like what is the nature of a sugar cane or something sweet? Or what is the nature of water? Natural state of water to flow. Right? The fluidity is defined. What is the nature of a fire?
To be hot and burn.
It heat, it warm. That is like, you can't discriminate. Like if there is no warmth, there is not fire, right? That is not the fire. Similarly, the nature of the soul is to love or to serve. That is service is the nature of the soul. And as we know, everyone is serving in this world someone. Can anyone say that no one is someone is serving no one in this world? Tell me one example. Take your mom, dad, they serve you, you will serve them. You take teachers in the school, they are serving the students are serving the teachers, and you go to the government, the statesman supposed to be serve the citizen some way or other. Or like you go to a company, you are serving your boss is, do you think that he is taking all the service? He has to serve his boss. He will serve his boss. He will serve to CEO. Then you will tell, oh no, CEO doesn't serve anyone. Is that true?
He has to.
CEO serves to the board, right? There is a board of directors are there. And do you think that board serve no one? Whom the board they are serving? Serving the shareholders, whoever hold the shares of that company. So everyone is serving in this world. Mom. So everyone is serving someone. That is the nature of soul. You can't define, you can't deny.
Can you explain what do you mean by serve here?
Serve
Because
means
serve can be a service or like taking care. It can be multiple things. So what do you mean by serve?
service is like okay, you work, right? For your, now you are doing internships. So what you're doing, your service is a service. You are doing some service. I know sometimes service may be just taken as a menial service. That's connotation people take, like okay, whoever is doing like menial service of like brooming or like cleaning, that's only service. But service is actually not. Service is serve. Serve means you are doing something for other person. Something you are doing.
Is it only a person or is it like any being or
Any being, yeah, it may be country. You might be serving your country, right? We say that the nationalists serve their country, isn't it? Or you might be serving your community, like you might be serving your nation. You might be serving your family. Like suppose you are a husband, wife, or something. You might be serving your family, right? By providing them the necessities, by providing them whatever they need.
say a Buddhist monk serves only their own religious faith or something like that. Let's say that is that also service, or is it because let's say they're not involved, they don't talk to people, they just like go on that years together, they don't talk and they only do for the things. Is there also service?
Yeah, very good question, Ambrish. So service, that is like, what is their purpose to do that? We have to ask them why they are doing that. If you ask them, I'm sure they are doing so that the world is better place. Like there's more harmony. There's more harmony in the world. Like some Christian monks, I forgot there's some kinds of they just inside, they don't come out only to the city. They just being there. They just keep whole day. They just praying. But they are praying, and that's what I'm telling. Sometimes because of their prayers, this world is functioning much better because there's some saintly people still there in this world. So maybe different type of service it is, like the saint, like saintly people. You might just tell that okay, what the economic development they are doing. They're just, some people might just term them as a parasite, so they are just taking on the other people's money, right? But do you think that they also needed in this world? The saintly people.
Yes.
Saintly, okay. Yes.
Saintly people are those who are, like you told about Buddhist, right? So do we need them, or only we just need the engineers in this world, or just lawyers, or just like mechanics, or do we need saintly people also? Yeah, we need saintly people, right, to show the people the path. Just they being that itself serves. Like if you have something example in your life, they may not be in your, but you just that example. Like I'm sure you can all trace back to you in your life that someone inspired you in your life. They may not be right away with you now, but that example serves you. Maybe sometime your own mom, dad, sometime you might be teachers, sometime maybe your friend, sometime maybe your anything, right? Or maybe your elder brother, sister, cousin, or someone that might be served. So they are also serving through inspiration. So we all, that's like a more subtler form of service. Yeah, but yeah, good question. So service is definitely like service is that. So what services we are doing, and that's what is our eternal nature is to serve. And then the scriptures, again when we go in deep maybe, but the ultimately it says the best service is when we serve our own, from where this soul comes, and that's what we say God. The God is from where everything, and when we do the serve the God, then we serve everyone, because everything is in that connection of God, rather than the small things. If you try to serve all the small unit, we will not be able to serve. But when we serve the God, and through God we serve everything else, then that's possible. So that is little bit just change of shift of mind, and when we just shift that mindset, that will make us much more better to go through this life situation, because we understand that everything is arranged by God, and just serving Him. suppose you are a student, or you're just saying I'm doing a study to God so that I can be, for whatever purpose He brought me here, I can do that. Or when you're working also, you work so that you know that okay, whatever His purpose is, His purpose has brought me to this work, let me do with my best of capability, and after that whatever happened is like we are more surrendered to God, in that there's some picture of God in our life is there. That's what is the spiritual life. Okay, I don't know if this makes sense. Any questions or Lasha? Anything? I think. Okay, so let's continue. Where were we?
How can I be a soul?
Yeah,
Page 2.
page 2. Okay. Yes, yes, Ramakrishna.
Yeah.
How can be I soul? Yeah, can you
How can be a soul? I can't see the soul, and the science has never found evidence that souls exist. Even a man completely ignorant of the spiritual nature can somehow feel its presence. One need only analyze his body silently. What am I? And am I this finger? Am I this body? Am I this hair? No, I am not this, and I am not that. I am something other than this body. I am something beyond this body. What is that? That is the spiritual. In this way, we can feel or sense the presence of spirituality within this matter. We can sense the absence of spirit when a body is dead. If we witness someone dying, we can sense that something is leaving the body. Although we do not have the eyes to see it, that something is spirit. Its presence in the body is explained in very beginning of the Bhagavad Gita 2.17. Know that which pervades the entire body to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy the imperishable soul, because we cannot perceive the soul with our gross senses. We deny its existence. Actually, there are so many things we cannot see with our blunt sense. We cannot see air, radio waves or sound, nor can we perceive minute bacteria. But this doesn't mean they are not there. With the aid of microscopic and other instruments, many things can be perceived which the imperfect senses had previously denied. Just because the soul, which is atomic in size, has not yet been perceived by our senses or instruments, that does not mean we should conclude that it is not there. The soul can be perceived by its symptoms and effects.
Wow, amazing. So, yeah, so how this paragraph says that how can I be soul? I can't see the soul, and science has never found the evidence that soul exists. So we don't see many things in this world, and that doesn't mean that doesn't exist. And in this case, we can easily see that there's some person dies for saying that what is there that missed that body is the whole body is there, but something has gone from that body, and that is the soul. And we can't create even one small tiny mosquito in our laboratories. Like you can do anything, but you can't even just replicate to make one mosquitoes in any laboratory of the highest caliber. Like science always says that okay, we'll make a life in the future, but when that life will come, that life has not, they're not even to make one, because we have to know that life comes from life. Life doesn't come from chemicals. That's what the modern theory says, that we are just bundle of chemicals. All the emotions are just like chemical secretion. Whenever we feel some love, we feel some hatred or something, it's just some chemical secretion is happening. And ultimately we'll just be like, we were chemical and then we will become just chemical. Like, and then this body goes. So that is some of the modern understanding of the science says, but the Vedic understanding says no, we are not chemical. Actually, yeah, maybe just the body that may be chemicals, but actually the spirit soul is beyond this. It's Satchidanand. It's not the part of this world, and the nature of the soul is that it says that it never dies. It says one verse, right, that it just keep continuing into the different bodies if we choose to, or if you're really intelligent, we can end the cycle and then we can get out of this cycle of birth and death. And that's what this spiritual science urges us to not get involved in this world, but just be like a lotus. Like, how many of you have seen the lotus flower? Have you seen lotus flower? Have you seen that? Does the water affects the lotus flower?
It always flows.
No. What happened? The water just.
All plants need water.
Huh?
All plants need water.
Yeah, no, but I'm telling that water drops in the lotus. Does the water drops affects anything in the lotus? No, it's just the wax is there, so it just kind of slips. It doesn't affect. Similarly, we should be in this world, but not of this world. We should be in this world, but we don't have to get smeared or get affected by this world. And that's what the spiritual science teaches us. That you can be in this world, you can do all your duties, whether it's a daughter, whether it's a son, whether it's a husband, whether it's a wife, whether it's a countryman, whether it's a professional or whatever. But how not to get entangled in this world? It was very easy to get entangled, and you may say, no, I don't think so. You just go out of this room and find that everyone is entangled in some way in this world. And if not, they will create new entanglement. Like, lo and behold, I think there's something, I'm not wanting to talk about politics, but some country doesn't have to do anything with the other country, but they still go trying to inflate the situation, that they think that is their thing to solve the whole world's problem, that if there's not enough problem, they just create more problem for not for themselves, not only for themselves, but other countries. And that kind of created further and further and further. Or any world war, you can see that might be started with some 2 countries, but then eventually it kind of snared every countries. Right? Isn't it? Is that something you can see that even we don't want to create problems, it just creates in this world. It just comes. And if you're not convinced, let me just tell you, like, there are 3 kinds of miseries, it says, that we all have. I think we have told in the previous class. So if anyone knows, tell me, what is the first one? First is adhyatmic. Have you heard about adhyatmic misery? Misery is caused by our own body and mind. And this is the most common nowadays. There's so much people, they are suffering through the depression, through the not satisfaction, or like whatever the mental diseases or mental health is one of the greatest growing business of the mental health care, because people are not able to take care of their mental health. Do we think that there is so much advancement of the science and everything, but there's so much big loneliness, there's so much big other problems that we are creating in this world. So isn't this problem of mind and senses is always there?
Yeah.
Right? It's always that is called adhyatmic, or the misery is caused by our own body and mind. Like the diseases, like how many diseases? Like anyone invites that, oh God, I got up and then someone say that I get this disease, or like someone, like people might say sometimes people get terminating diseases like cancer and everything. Does anyone invite in their life? No, right? It just comes. Even though you do it right, it just comes. Adhyatmic. So, and then there is adhidaivic. Adhidaivic means misery is caused by other living entities. Like as I was telling, like one country is causing misery to another country, or other living entities causing misery to like terrorists or something, like people have, or neighbors sometimes, or sometimes roommates, sometimes flatmates, sometimes your landlord, something. But miseries can be caused by other living entities. Does anyone has misery caused by any other living entity here? Has anyone faced here? No? What? Where do you guys live? No one has caused any. You have not got any miseries by other living entity?
I'm pretty sure we have faced it.
Yeah, everyone have got, right? Something from professors, from maybe your friends, or some boss or whatever. I'm sure you might have got that.
Maybe we never categorized it as misery before.
Yeah, maybe you may not categorize, but I'm just telling that misery is right. And that's what it's because you're spiritual. That's why you might be able to see that. It's not, but actually that is there. And sometimes sometimes it's genuine, sometimes it's ingenuine. When you find sometimes ingenuinely people doing, and I think they do. We are having 4 years here, this club. I have made sometimes we get really the roommates. They are very nuts roommates. Like they just want to trouble the other people, and they're not cooperative. Let me just say, maybe it's not their intention, but everything sometimes it's higher understanding when you're living with people, that how to cooperate with other people. Or even in marriages, it's like marriages is same thing, right? It's one of the biggest learning lesson is the cooperation when you marry, that how you cooperate with other living entities. So anyway, getting back to and third thing is misery caused by this nature, like I told, earthquake, tsunami, that no one asks, right? But that comes anyway. So these are the something that even if no one wants, that comes. So that's why he's saying that Bhagavad Gita is saying that how we can not get affected by all this, and live a life that is more centered around inside happiness and sharing that happiness with others people. So that's what is the Bhagavad Gita is teaching. Okay, let's continue. We have just 5 more minutes. Yes, please.
Can you tell me more about the soul? This living spirit remains within the body just like a tiny dose of a potential medicine. The soul spreads its presence all over the body, and thus we can understand that the sensitivity we experience to even the slightest touch on any part of the body is due to the spreading of this living spirit throughout the body. But when this finite quality of living spark is gone from the body lies dead, prostrate, and it cannot feel the slightest pain, even if hacked by an axe. That this minute living spark, the spirit, is not a material thing is proved by the fact that no material scientist has ever been able to create the living spark by any combination or quantity of material substances. Experienced material scientists have been obligated to accept the fact that the living spark cannot be duplicated by material science. Whatever can be created by the manipulation of matter is destructible and temporary. In contrast, the living spark is indestructible precisely because it can never be constructed by any combination or quantity of matter. We cannot produce material atomic bombs, but not the spiritual spark of life.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We can produce material bombs, but we can't produce a spark of life. That is totally impossible. And that's what he was saying, that this soul is indestructible. Like you can't destroy the soul, and soul is pervading like all our body. Like when we take a medicine, right? We don't know how this medicine is affecting, but medicine kind of takes care because it just spreads in the body. Similarly, the soul is just spread, and that's what whenever we feel some sensation, touch, is because it's the presence of the soul. Soul is there, and that is kind of making us perceive what we are, whatever the pleasure or pain we are getting through. Perfect. So yeah, Priyank will read the last.
How does knowing this change my life? Suppose you have a nice coat. If you simply show the coat and iron the coat and keep it very carefully, you will never be happy. Similarly, now you are trying to get happiness from gratifying the coat of the body. But that is not possible. Happiness comes only when you make the soul happy. Or suppose you have a bird in a cage. If you simply polish the cage but do not give the bird any food, the bird will never be happy. Similarly, the material body is the cage of the soul. And if we simply care for the body, the soul will never become happy. So the beginning of spiritual knowledge is to understand that the soul is encaged within the body and mind, and that neither bodily comforts nor mental satisfaction will ever bring the soul real happiness.
Yeah, it's so nice example is given. Suppose there's a cage, there's a bird inside the cage, and if someone just keep polishing the cage and doesn't feed the bird, do you think that the bird will survive? No, bird will die one day. Similarly, we are encaged in this body, the soul, but we forget the soul most of the time in our life, and the soul eventually die in the sense like it's not able to take to its full potential. The soul's potential is very high. The soul is not just bounded by so-called material achievements, and that's not the highest thing. The soul has much more it can connect to the super soul or the God, and that's what is the highest potency we can get. It is like something you can say. Suppose what is a Mustang? That is like everyone is enamored, right? If you bring the Mustang and then take it to the field, any field, and then you plow, like you are plowing that field with the Mustang, do you think that is a great use of the Mustang? May not be, right? There are other you can use vehicle for the plowing, and they might do better than Mustang even. It's not that Mustang can't do, maybe might do, but may not be able to perfectly. But similarly, the soul, definitely it can do all these material things, whatever we need the achievement. It's not that we are not telling, but it has much more bigger things to take care, to connect oneself with the super soul. Okay, so Amrish, for you last. Isn't the mind the part of the soul?
Isn't the mind the part of the soul? No, the mind is not part of the soul, but an instrument through which the soul acts. The mind is rejecting and accepting according to the dictation of my soul. Although I walk with my legs, I do not consider myself to be my legs. Although I think with my mind, I am not my mind. Some philosophers identify the mind with the self, and this is a mistake. Intelligence is subtler than the mind, and the mind is subtler than the senses. The gross sense can be seen, but the center of senses, the mind, cannot be seen. Therefore, it is called subtle. The mind is guided by the intelligence, which is even subtler. The background of intelligence is the soul. The mind is the instrument by which we think, but the instrument is not I.
Yeah. So mind is is not the soul. The mind is through which we perceive the thinking, feeling, and willing. This mind just like a projector through which we feel, think, and will. It's not everything. And in Bhagavad Gita, it goes into very details. In Indriyani Paranyanu, Indriyebhya Paramana, Manasastu Parabuddhi, Tad Buddhi Paratastu. So it says like the lowest of is the senses, and the above senses is mind. Above mind is intelligence, and above intelligence is soul proper, the word what we are. So what is the closest to the soul is intelligence. In the hierarchy, it says like the closest to intelligence, the soul is intelligence. But what happened? Actually, the intelligence should guide everything. But what happened if suppose the mind is corrupted in between? So it gets dominated by the senses. It's very practical to understand. I know it's like philosophy, but you can see that sometimes we are dominated by our senses. Senses tells that, oh, you do this, you do that, and you do this. You will fly for the whole, like another continent just to satisfy the sense. Because the sense is not controlled, it will dominate over the mind. But actually it should be opposite. Your mind should control the senses. Because who is higher? Senses or mind? Like an example I'll give, like suppose the kids and the parents. Who's higher? Is parents or the kids?
Parents.
Who should dominate, the kids or the parent?
Parents.
Parents, right? Suppose the kids start dominating, then what will happen?
Chaos.
Yeah, chaos means they will not know what is a good thing for them, right? In general, I'm talking normal thing. Generally, they just get attracted by maybe chocolate. Like I have a daughter, I can see that if I just let her do, she'll not eat. She'll just do whole day playing. She'll do whole day not eating nothing. That's what she will like to do, right? But as a parent, is what is intelligence, or as I was telling that the senses is that the mind is above that, and mind should be guided by the intelligence, and that's why we are reading this book. Why we are reading this book? You may just wondering, or some might be wondering, right? What is the use of reading these books? What I'm getting by reading these books, or for that matter, any spiritual books? Why we read? Because that strengthens our intelligence. Intelligence, because intelligence is what actual intelligence, right? Because intelligence is what gets strengthened by reading this book. Because what it gives you vivek. Have you heard this word vivek? What does vivek means?
Polite. Polite. Or
Is discrimination. Like in one simple discrimination, like vivek power or power of vivek means discrimination power. Like you can understand what is right, what is wrong, what is good for me, what is not good for me. It comes from vivek buddhi. Vivek is like is like very very high power, I'll say, like one of the superpower you can get in your life to discriminate what is good and what is not good. Because if you're not able to do, you will find that most of the people get themselves in trouble because they are not able to discriminate what is good and what is not good for them, isn't it? Most of the time, if it is by themselves. Obviously, if something by others, then it's different. I'm not talking about by themselves. They run into these issues because they're not able to discriminate what is, and that's why this book teaches you that don't get indulged in the sense. This sense enjoyment will not going to give you happiness, and do whatever is needed. Like it's not that we are telling that hey, now tomorrow onward don't eat, don't do anything. No, you eat whatever is needed because we all need to sustain. We all have to work, we all have to eat, we have to do, but don't overindulge in these things, which is not going to give you more satisfaction just by overindulging in these things or thinking about these things only and forgetting the main purpose of life. So when our intelligence gets sharpened by this intelligence, by this messages of Gita and all, it actually guides the mind, and then minds become our friend. Otherwise, Bhagavad Gita says that Atmanyo Atmana Bandhu Atmano Ripuratmana. The mind is the greatest friend and mind can be greatest enemy. When it is not controlled, it is
Enemy.
greatest enemy.
Greatest.
When it is controlled, it's a greatest friend. So if you can make your mind friend, you will see that you are, because we all living with mind, right? In this body we are living with mind. So better to make it friend. You can't say that, oh mind, I don't like you, I divorce you, you go somewhere else. No, that's not possible, sorry. Mind will be still with you, mind will not leave you till the end of our life. Mind will be still with us. So better to make mind friend in our side. Rather than trying to fight and this. So okay, so I think we are over time. If you don't mind, can you hit the subject, and I'll just take some few questions or answers if anyone has anything, and my friend Janil is just hitting the subject by till that time. If anyone, thank you so much for your time and attention. I think we discussed something about soul today. The chapter topic is started about the inside story. What is the who am I? We discussed why is this first lesson is important about knowing myself. Why not I find all these things in word, even Antarctic and specific and whatnot. Why I should find myself. And that's the point, right? We try to find everything in this world except myself.